I'm here to listen to the issues that have been raised. As you're aware, the much publicised review of the public works contracts has been acceded to by the Minister. We haven't a time frame for that yet, but it's quite clear from a lot of the issues that we're hearing in the room that I don't think we can point the finger entirely at the contract. Number of issues that struck me this morning is from the very first, from the President's address, was the concept of the procurement system being broken. Well, I think we can look a little bit further afield and look at the construction industry in general. It saddens me to see the condition that it has found itself in. As a practicing architect, project delivery was my background. This role is quite new to me, and the industry always presented a challenging career path for anyone who entered into it. Unfortunately, we had the economic shock, which we're still trying to climb out of. The key issues are, I suppose, again, just to summarise, and I'm conscious of the hammer on the table there, some of the thoughts that have come into my head this morning from listening to the various speakers. It comes back to reasonableness, and how could anyone expect people to behave reasonably in an industry where we've seen construction output drop in a space of 5 years from, again, I'm not good with figures being an architect, but I think figures of 25% in 2011 of GDP to approximately 6% at the moment. You know, that's a catastrophic reduction in terms of the output in the industry, and clearly there are going to be casualties. The issue of resources was raised by an earlier speaker in terms of the resource intensity that these contracts require. I wouldn't imagine that the NEC form of contract, the JCT forms in practice in the UK, would require any less resources in terms of managing them. From my brief reading into the background of the various contracts, many of the contracts in use out there today are a hybrid of contract conditions and proper construction management practice. You ignore both at your peril, and it seems to me that we as an industry, both professions and the contractor side, must gear up. There's a significant challenge to delivering projects, even more so now where budgets are slashed, public capital programme is cut back, very little in the way of private sector investment, although signs are showing that there is an improvement in that area. But I think somebody referenced it earlier, I think one of the reports in the UK, a good recession wasted. We need to look right across the industry to see how we can do things better. And as I say, with the review process that will commence, I wish I was in a position to commit to it. We will be seeing, well, certain members in the room anyway, a lot more of each other, and I think that's a healthy thing. We need more engagement, and some of the steps that we're going to be taking in the coming months, Johnny mentioned it in his presentation earlier on, but we are actively looking at policy areas. Obviously our remit is narrowly focused to procurement. There are other areas in the construction industry that desperately need attention, but we will be looking at ways that we can streamline the procurement process. We've tackled the consultants' procurement process first up. It's a small step, but I think it will show results, certainly from the point of view of administering both sides. I touch on, again, so many thoughts or issues to be discussed. Performance bonds is an area that has caused no end of problem. Again, one could say, to use Johnny Bliss's analogy earlier, you know, the car and the crash. You know, what's the issue? Are we asking for too much from the point of view of the performance bond providers, or is it the underlying malaise in the system itself in terms of the the bid costs or the bids that are coming in on tenders and so on? So unfortunately, we're not going to resolve everything today, but the discussion, and I look forward to the discussion later on, will prove, I'm sure, to be robust, and will certainly take away a lot of the sentiment and points made today for further discussion, and we look forward to engaging with you in the review process that is to come.
We can quickly move on.